Hi, my name is Junius Kuriakos and she's my wife Sherin Sam. Uh, so on the 6th of August, my wife started to have pain, and then we wanted to rush towards the hospital, and we wanted to check what exactly is the pain. So on the 6th we met Dr. Madhushri, and she was in much pain, that we wanted to meet doctor and see what exactly is the problem. So we spoke to Dr. Madhushri. She was very kind and polite and understanding. We shared her, my wife, she shared about her problem, and then doctor said, don't worry, don't panic, we will take care of it. So on the 7th August, on the 6th August, she was admitted on the hospital, and doctor said that we need to deliver. Sherin has to deliver the baby any time now. So on the 7th of August, Sherin delivered the baby, and it was a baby boy. So Dr. Madhushri and Dr. Vikas both were so much caring and supporting to us, and we are so happy that Sherin delivered the baby. Due to his complication, he was delivered. He was in 25 weeks, and he was a premature baby. We were so much worried and tensed, and we were thinking, what would be going to happen for next couple of months. But Dr. Vikas and Dr. Madhushri, they were so much supportive, and we were worried in those time. Doctor gave us a hope that baby will do well, and he's a fighter. So that one word inspired us, and we thought he's gonna do in a better way. So as soon baby was out, he was started to cry. And in that moment, Dr. Vikas said, I feel that he will do well. So almost 2 months he was in the hospital. The complete entire team of Motherhood have been so supportive, and encouraging every day when we were thinking about what's going to happen on the next day. So we used to get update day by day, and we got to know that every day baby was doing well. It's all because of the complete team of Motherhood, and especially we would like to thank Dr. Vikas and Dr. Madhushri for taking care of us and the baby, and supporting us. So just a small testimony I wanted to tell, that how the journey was, and we are now happy, and finally we are a parent of a boy, and we have kept his name as Gerald. So that means he's a fighter and a very strong person. So we thank you with all our hearts, as a family. We want to thank you, Motherhood Hospital, and also all the team for supporting us. Thank you.
Hello everybody. Today I'm very happy to talk about baby of Sherin, who was delivered here at Motherhood Hebbard at a gestation of 25 plus 3 weeks. Mother had severe preeclampsia, and she came in the afternoon and basically went in for spontaneous delivery. It was a normal delivery, and the issues were that the baby came out very quickly, and there was not much of time for even the parents to decide on what needs to be done. There was a lot of confusion and a lot of anxiety in both the mother and the father. There was also the grandmother present there, and it was a very anxious moment for them. Once the baby was delivered, our team was present. I was there personally along with my entire team, and we received the baby in the most appropriate condition that we usually follow. Baby was received in a plastic bag, kept warm, and then the question was, because the baby was born at 25 plus 3 weeks, was what do we do? The baby was born with a heart rate, was not crying, was not breathing, was blue. The father was present with me at that point of time, and I had to quickly make a decision as to what needs to be done next, whether to proceed with the full resuscitation or not. This is a gray area, especially when babies are born less than 28 weeks, because in India we have less than 28 weeks is not considered viable. Most of the Western countries consider less than 24 weeks as not viable. And in India, we still are in the process of looking at 24 to 28 week gestation babies. Currently, the legal limit is any baby that is born more than 28 weeks is considered viable. So with this dilemma in the background, I had to discuss with the father as to what needs to be done, and it had to be very quick. I quickly had to explain in a very few seconds as to what is the condition of the baby and what would be a future or the immediate care for this baby. In such situations, when we don't have time, we usually focus on ensuring the continuity of life. So the baby was given resuscitation because the baby had a heart, or rather the heart was beating, but the baby was not breathing, which meant that the baby was born alive. The baby was resuscitated as per the international standards. The baby was kept warm, and one of my colleagues took over the baby while I continued discussion with the father. I explained to him that at 25-weeker, the chances of survival, the chances of having long-term issues, and explained to him in all the percentages that are present and that the data we have internationally. Once the explanation was done and the confidence was given to the parents, the father and the mother both decided to go ahead with the full resuscitation and transfer to the neonatal intensive care. It is very important in such situations to take consent of the parents before any further resuscitation or further interventions are given. The situation in India is that we can resuscitate babies to any extent, but we cannot withdraw care. So there is no withdrawal of care clauses in our legal system. Unlike in the Western countries, where if the parents feel later at a later stage, and if the baby is in a bad state, if the baby is ventilated, then a plan of care can be initiated, which is called withdrawal of care. In India, we are not in that stage yet, where our legal systems have put in place, because we are seeing more and more preterm babies now than before. Previously, preterm babies were seen, but the management was different, their outcomes were different. So anything more than 28 weeks was considered useful to be resuscitated, and the parents had some hopes there. Less than 28 weeks is where the issues crop up. How do they do? And even if we resuscitate, even if we start managing them, it's a long journey for them. The journey for these preterm babies is almost in the range of 10 weeks to 12 weeks. In fact, a baby of Sherin stayed with us till the baby was almost 35 weeks, which is a good 10 weeks of stay in the hospital. This has a huge financial burden, implications for the family, plus the agony, the trauma, the anxiety, the frustrations that the parents have to go through for the 10 weeks that they are here. It is a marathon for these parents. It is not a single day affair. It is not a single day problem. It goes on and on. And this is where the role of the neonatologist, the role of our nurses come into the picture in daily counseling, in daily reassurance. We counsel parents on a daily basis. We tell them the condition of the baby, and we give them support in terms of understanding what is happening to the babies. The parents went through a lot of emotional turmoil during the course of the stay, and were appropriately counseled with regards to this. In the end, when the baby came out at around 35 weeks, the parents are extremely happy, and I'm sure they will talk about their experiences from their side. But it also gives immense pleasure in handing over this baby in a fully pristine condition. When 25 weeks are born, they are very fragile, the skin is tender, and they lose heat very quickly. So it is appropriate for us to transfer these babies in a transport incubator in a condition where the temperature is maintained constantly at 36.5 degrees centigrade from the labor ward to the neonatal intensive care without any issues. We do have facilities for that, and our teams are in place for that. We are also prepared for any eventualities or any emergencies that can arise even in the middle of the night for a preterm delivery that happens, and full resuscitation equipment, transport incubator, everything is kept on standby in our unit. Once the babies are transferred to the neonatal intensive care, they are cared for in a incubator, and we do have a special incubator, which is a giraffe incubator, which is a high-end incubator which provides excellent thermoregulation, humidity regulation for the baby. Nursing staff are extremely dedicated and highly trained to take care of such preterm babies. Once the babies are received into the neonatal intensive care, they usually receive surfactant to help their lungs. We do not regularly intubate and ventilate these babies for long periods of time, and that was the same case with baby of Sherin. Baby was intubated for a brief period, was extubated, went on to be on what's called as a CPAP, where a mixture of air and oxygen is given under pressure through the nose, and the baby is breathing on its own. Monitoring of blood oxygen levels and the carbon dioxide levels becomes very important, and we monitor these through an umbilical arterial line and an umbilical venous line. An umbilical arterial line helps us in monitoring blood parameters without pricking the baby frequently. An umbilical venous line helps us in providing nutrition to the baby, where they are given total parenteral nutrition, and which helps us basically to help the baby grow as they would have grown inside the mother's womb. So what we are basically creating is an environment similar to the mother's womb but outside. So we are providing nutrition, we are providing warmth, we are providing the right humidity for the baby so that the baby can grow. It is also important that we maintain a neutral environment as far as noise goes, as far as light goes, because remember, these babies are inside the womb and are exposed to less noise and no light. A similar environment is also provided in our neonatal intensive care. This is called as a developmental care, where we provide for the care of the baby to grow and develop appropriately. Most of these babies usually are prone for bleeds in the brain, but there are various factors for it. Luckily for baby of Sherin, there was no such issues. Parameters were monitored, stress levels were less for the baby, and baby did not end up having major bleed in the brain. There was a grade 1 bleed which is resolved now, and the ultrasound scan of the brain looks good on discharge. Our policy of probiotics, correct enteral feeds, regular monitoring. This baby did not have any necrotizing enterocolitis and went on to establish full feeds very well. There were a couple of episodes of brief possible infections, but they were looked at early and treated, and there was no further complications that the baby encountered. The baby was discharged well, having reached good weight and taking Pallada feeds without any neurological sequelae. And I'm very happy for the parents that as medical providers, and also we were able to give a baby in a full pristine condition. 25 weeks can be very challenging for any neonatal unit, and we were happy that my team of nurses and doctors were able to provide for baby of Sherin, and I'm happy that the baby is now currently with the parents, and I wish them all the best and good luck in the future. Thank you very much.